Tu Nidito is a staple in our community, and we are so excited because they have expanded to many different areas in the Tucson.
Joining us this morning is Amanda Marks, Community Impact Manager, to fill us in on the expansion and a new program that you can get involved with. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you
to
for
have
having
you
me.
here. So Tu Nidito has just become so essential and so big to our communities that you're now going out to people to help them, to support them. So tell us a little bit about how it's developing and about the programs there.
Well, Tucson is growing,
Yes,
and we're not just a small city anymore, and we recognize that there are a lot of families that are growing with Tucson in Vail and Marana and Oro Valley and Sarita, that our location at Tu Nidito is a great location for our bereavement services, but there are a lot of families that say it's too far to travel at the end of a long workday. They can't get their kids there, feed them dinner, and be at Tu Nidito. So we're trying to make it easier for them to access our services, and we're coming to them in their communities now.
And what kind of programs are you offering them?
So all of our satellite location programs are for children who are grieving the death of a loved one. We've also partnered with the Boys and Girls Club of Tucson, and we are going to be starting in our second clubhouse location in a couple of weeks, because we recognize that we're meeting the kids where they're at. So we're offering our grief support program to the kids at the clubhouse location, which they already consider a safe place to be themselves and find support and resources in the community.
That's wonderful. And I mean, on that note, how do you bring up tragedy to kids? I mean, what do you do to make them understand it and help them part with it?
Sometimes it's the innocence of the child and their age, and they bring it up themselves, and they're so matter of fact. And sometimes it's more the anxiety of the adult. How do I talk to them? Whereas we give them opportunities. We have our talking circle questions, and then we have activities, because a lot of the kids do their grief work through play and crafts or artwork or music therapy, different opportunities and different therapeutic modalities, and that's what we bring into our satellite locations. We have bins that we bring our supplies for the evening, and we've got volunteers that help us in those communities and help us carry out our mission. Are
you also coaching parents as well?
We do have, so the whole family comes to our group, and all while the kids are in their own separate support groups, the parents and caregivers are with other parents and caregivers. How do I support my grieving child? My kid came home so angry the other day from school. Oh, so did mine. How did you help that child? And they find support with other caregivers and adults in their community, and we offer them support on how to help their child grieve.
Well, I mean, that's incredibly powerful, because things that happen to us as children really impact our future and impact our personality. And, you know, for Tu Nidito to be able to shed light on that and sort of, you know, help them get rid of it in a light way, I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, there's a lot of laughter that goes on at Tu Nidito, despite the fact that we work with children who are grieving the death of a loved one. We try to make it a positive experience and a safe place for kids to do their work. So.
And you mentioned none of these programs would be possible without volunteers.
Oh, yeah.
And with your satellite offices and growing as much as you are, I'm assuming you probably need some volunteers.
Yes, yes. We have any given time at any of our groups is one staff member. The groups are facilitated by volunteers for the most part. We have a staff member that oversees the group, has the activities planned out, and explains what's going to happen at that group night. But it's the facilitators, our volunteers, that are actively working with the kids in the group. And so we are definitely looking for volunteers as we continue to expand to be out in Vail with us doing our satellite location, to be at the Boys and Girls Club locations working with these kids who desperately need us.
Of course, and as you expand, of course, so do costs. So people obviously can donate, or
yes, we're always accepting donations, whether through in-kind or through outright donations. We have our Ride for a Child program that is also kicking up into high gear right now. Cyclists can sign up to ride in honor of a Tu Nidito child when they register to ride at El Tour. They can just go to rideforachild.com and do that and register straight through Tu Nidito and ride in honor of one of the children that's been affected by a serious medical condition or death.
That's wonderful.
And if people were interested in volunteering, do you coach them as well on how to coach
children? Oh, yes. We have a full 2-day training. Our next training is coming up this weekend, or not this weekend, the next weekend, September 20th and 21st. They do need to call and go online and fill out an application and have an interview before they can show up for the training on the 20th and the 21st. And we have a full 2-day training where they get the skills. They understand what reflective listening means, how to be an active participant in group without speaking for the child. Lots of different activities and techniques that we help the volunteers with.
Yeah, and there's also something called Camp Erin, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that, and does it cost anything to attend?
It's all of our services at Tu Nidito and that we put on are free of charge. Wow. So Camp Erin is a weekend overnight camp for children who are grieving the death of a loved one. It's at the Triangle Y Camp. a weekend in October, October 19th. And we're recruiting families and children that want to come. It's for the children, so the parents will drop their child off and they'll have a wonderful opportunity to be with other kids who are grieving the death of a loved one, stay overnight, do some amazing activities and work. And once again, all volunteers too are going to be there as well.
How sweet is that? They get to deal with it in a group setting.
Yes.
With people, you know, who are going through the same thing.
Their peers.
And also, of course, and memory beads too. Are those done there, or is that?
We offer memory beads at our camp, but we're also we're getting ready to start a community memory bead event in Sorita on November 8th. It will be at Copperview Elementary School. So we're looking at doing that to kind of gain presence and visibility in the Sorita community before we start up our bereavement support group for them in the spring.
Wow. Amanda, you are so busy.
We are growing and growing and growing.
It is, and it is
we
so
need
wonderful.
volunteers to help us grow. So
it's exciting.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you.
To find out more about Tu Nidito and their satellite grief support program, you can call 322-9155 or visit them online at tunidito.org.
Stick around. The Morning Blend will be right back with what's happening on tomorrow's show.